I think this is the first time I'm going to admit to this, because I didn't see the need to tell it. Stopping as a coach of Nigeria was the most difficult decision I ever took. To resign and say I don't want to coach anymore, it was the most difficult. I had sleepless nights for 3 days before I finally threw it in. You know, people thought, okay, I resigned because of this and that. One of the major reasons was I was falling sick like hell.
I know you were flown to Belgium hospital. You lost 7 kg.
Unbelievable. All this thing you're swaying, all my suits all of a sudden, I could wear them without even having to stretch. I was falling sick. I became sick, and I was doing all kinds of tests, you know, and I didn't like the look I was seeing on the face of my wife and my kids. And it got to a point whereby I found out later that even when I was sleeping, my son used to creep up and see if I was still breathing.
That bad? That bad.
Because, you know, when you rush to...
Yeah.
So I was falling too sick, and they found out. I did all kinds of tests. We couldn't find out what was wrong. Until one day I went to a specialist in Munich, and it cost me thousands of euros. And then they found out that I had mumps. And mumps is something you get when you're a kid. And you get it as an adult. It can affect your fertility. It can affect your hearing, your eyesight, and everything. And then they said to me, then came the worst part of it. They said there is no treatment for it. Your body has to kill it. So that means I was spending almost every 2 days with injections of vitamin C to boost the body immune system. And I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive anymore. I was dizzy every time I walked. And
you
I
had
was
to sit down after a few steps, didn't you?
Yeah, after a few steps. So when I had to fly to go to coach Nigeria, and I used to fly through Frankfurt, and from Frankfurt airport, from the gate A to gate C, where you take the Nigerian flight, it's almost like 500 meters walk or a kilometer walk.
It's one of the biggest airports.
One of the biggest airports. You have to go on the ground. I will walk 100 meters and I will sit down. And my family didn't like this. So it got to one point, and there was so much problems with the federation and the ministry and all that. They were fighting themselves, and I was like, no.
You were paying for your own flights and etc. to go and scout players to play for the national team, to watch players as well, weren't you?
It's my country.
That's a lot of money.
I'm becoming scared of you now. You did too much research, you know. So yeah, but I had to. It's my country. I love my country, you know. I did all that. But when it comes to the question of life and death, and I was like, no. So I gave in the resignation, but I couldn't write it officially. It was because I was sick and that, and because it was getting out of hand. But as at the time also, it also suited me. I was unpaid for 4 months. I had unpaid salaries for wages. I had not been paid for 4 months.
Not only you.
My assistant coaches also were not paid for 6 months.
Yeah.
And especially the Belgian guy. He had a mortgage to pay back home, and he was like, hey, I'm getting the heat from, you know. So when I stopped, he took Nigeria to court anyway to get his money back. And I was advised by lawyers to take my country to court. I said, no, I will never take my country to court. It's like taking my parents to court. It will never happen.
Yeah.
So I left it like that.